Knowing this one thing can make you a better parent, a better brother, sister, lover, partner. Knowing this one thing can make you a better human. Per. And what is that one thing? So, on my journeys of study and self awareness and enlightenment, a couple years ago, I fell in love with the teachings of Dr. Bruce Lipton. So, Dr. Bruce Lipton is pretty big in the quantum physics realm. Anything dealing with like the law of attraction, those type things, like how the subconscious mind works, the programming. He's real big in that field. Has done a lot of phenomenal work. If you haven't heard of him or haven't read of any of his books, listened to any of his speeches, check him out on YouTube, Amazon. You know the deal. But Dr. Bruce Lipton brought it to my attention that the way that our subconscious mind is programmed is pretty unique. And when I first learned this, I was like, wow, this is something that I feel like every parent should know. But even deeper than just being parents, but just having a better understanding and being able to have greater inner understanding of how we grow up and how important it is, the messages that we receive, the information that we receive, that we see and we feel and we hear as we are children, and how that plays and lays the foundation for who we will be. And so basically, what he found out or has added on to the discovery is that from the ages of 0 to 7,
every human, and this is a fact, every human first 7 years is download hypnosis. The brain of a child under 7 is in a lower vibrational frequency. When you put wires on a person's head, you read electroencephalograph, reading brain activity. A child below 7 has a lower vibration than consciousness.
0 to 7 years old, we are programmed, our subconscious minds are programmed from the ages of 0 to 7. So when I see 0, I know that this is before you actually are even birthed out of your mother's canal. This is when you are in the womb, right? And I have learned from other studies how it's in the womb, right? That is the school womb, right? The mother teaches, if she is conscious and aware and knowing, she teaches from within the womb, when you are within the womb. So it begins then. So from 0 to 7 years old will determine your permanent personality characteristics. Now for me, I was like, I'm thinking like, maybe a little bit older than that when you start to get programmed. But no, literally, you got from 0 to 7, 0 to 7 years old to help develop the permanent personality characteristics of your child. And then doing the inner work within yourself, you have to look back from the ages when you were 0 to 7 years old and think about what messages did you receive, what programs were programmed based on what your parents were delivering, what your friends were delivering, what were they talking about, what were they thinking about, what were your parents talking about, what were your parents thinking about, what was the feeling within the household. And they play the biggest part in our programming. If you were raised, by your parents or whoever raised you from those ages of 0 to 7. And what school did you go to? Because that kind of determines what friends you had and the environment that you were in, and those messages that you received from those ages are key because it will determine your permanent personality characteristics. Now, that's not to say that you're stuck with what you are right now if you're not satisfied, because there are ways to change the programming. But first, I feel like it's very crucial to even understand where the programming came from. You know what I'm saying? So like 0 to 7 years old, some of us, if you're a parent, you know, some of us think that the child is maybe unaware, or they don't know what's going on. So you can talk about this and that in front of them. But really, it's not even a matter of consciousness, right? They don't have to be conscious of what's going on, because from 0 to 7, it is their subconscious mind that is pretty much that they vibrate in, right? So they haven't become conscious yet. So because in order for you to become conscious, you need to become conscious of something. And so when you become conscious of something, right, at the age of 7, now that you're more aware and the brain development that's happening during that time, you're going to become conscious of what was programmed in your subconscious mind. Now, to me, I was like, I don't know. I mean, I know that I'm a geek and all, but I'm, I was just floored, because I feel like just knowing that one thing as a parent, right, will really change the lives, if it matters to you. It really changed the life and the lives of your children, because you're going to be more mindful, you're going to be more aware, you're going to be more conscious of what exactly you're teaching your children. What are you saying to them? What are they being subjected to? You know, what are they listening to? What are they watching? All of this from 0 to 7 is getting programmed into their subconscious mind. Now, if you don't know what the subconscious mind is, I always like to use, the context clues of the words. So we know that sub means below, like a submarine, below water, right? And the subconscious is below consciousness. So it's kind of like your subconscious is like a record player, kind of like similar to, I wasn't even planning on realizing, but yeah, like a record player. It records everything. Whether you know it or not, it's happening. So, because it's recording everything, eventually it's going to play it back. You know what I mean? And that's how you can find yourself, as an older adult, and you can find yourself doing the same things that your parents did, and you swore up and down that you would never be like that. You know what I mean? Like, I know, I heard of a story of, I don't know if he was a speaker or whatever he was, but basically he was talking about how he remembers when he was younger, he used to watch his dad get ready for work, and he would always have on his button-up shirt, but no bottoms. He had his boxers, button-up shirt, and socks on, and putting on his tie. And he always thought that was the craziest thing to do. He just looked crazy walking around the house with his button-up shirt, putting on his tie, but he only had drawers on, underwear on, and his socks. And now that he's older, he found himself doing the exact same thing unconsciously, though. It wasn't until like he looked in the mirror and he realized, like, damn, like I'm doing the same thing my dad was doing. And I thought that was the craziest thing to see, but I'm repeating that same behavior. That's because that was programmed in your subconscious. You know, how you can find yourself saying some of the things that your parents used to say to you when you were a child, and you always wondered, like, what is that about? You know what I mean? Like, money don't grow on trees, you know what I'm saying? Or anything that you heard about wealth, like that gets programmed into your subconscious. And that's how you can have a poor mindset or a wealthy mindset. And that's what Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about all the time, is how, you can be rich, born into a rich family, and 9 times out of 10, you will have a wealth mindset. You can luck up into riches just because of the programming that happened from 0 to 7, the messages that were going around money, the finance talking, and the businesses and the entrepreneurship that you were exposed to, or whatever those things were that set your mind for a wealthy mindset, and vice versa. You can also be programmed for a poor mindset. Like if you heard messages like money don't grow on trees, don't ask me for shit, it like many poor messages we may have received, um, and that's how you can get set to have the poor mindset, and it'll make it very difficult for you to become wealthy because of the poor mindset program that is programmed within us.
The famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Sure. And basically said you come from a poor family and you could struggle your whole life and try to get rich, but you're not going to make it. And if you come from a rich family, you could be stupid your whole life and make it. Not because it was thinking, but it was unconscious behavior that was downloaded from rich families into kids, which is unconscious. So they're making the right moves unconsciously. If they engage their conscious mind, then they look stupid, but it's unconscious. And that's the same thing with poor people. Poor people have beliefs from the family. Oh, you can't make it, life's a struggle, things are hard, who do you think you are? And if that's the program you get, then 95% of the day you will sabotage yourself. And that's why poor people stay poor and rich people stay rich, because the programming.
And what you can do is you'll find yourself every time you get a little bit of money, something that's a signal that shows you that you're on your way to wealth, and you can end up sabotaging it because it doesn't match the program that you have running. Does that make sense?
And if that's the program you get, then 95% of the day you will sabotage yourself.
You know what I mean? So now, like I said, it doesn't mean that you're stuck in that program and that's what you have to be, because you can change it. But if you're not aware of it, then how can you fix it? And so as a child from 0 to 7, you're receiving that program that is being programmed into your subconscious mind, and then you're going to play it back as you get older, and the things that vibrate on that same frequency that you operate on, of course that's what you're going to attract, because you are that. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. You know what I'm saying? So all these things play into a role, just how, like, if a child grows up from 0 to 7 and you may see abuse in the household, physical abuse, right? And then you attract a partner who is similar to what you experienced as a child. These things are because of how the subconscious mind works. And the reason why it's so prominent is that the brain of a child from 0 to 7 is vibrating in what they call these brain waves, which are called theta, theta, right? So from 0 to 7, a child's brain is vibrating in theta waves. Now, theta waves is very similar to hypnosis. It's the same frequency. And when I say waves, I'm talking about how, like, if you hooked up the brain to one of those electrical reading meters, they're going to show the brain waves of the brain. The way that they operate from 0 to 7, they just vibrate at theta, right? And so, which is hypnosis. So if a child is hypnotized, literally, the brain wave, when read on that scanning machine, it would read like theta waves. So basically, a child from 0 to 7 is operating in hypnosis. Basically, like, it's like being hypnotized by everything around you. And so then it seeps into your subconscious because your brain is operating in theta waves.
Theta is imagination. Oh, that's how kids play a tea party with mud pies, but to them it's a real thing. A kid rides a broom, it's a horse. That's theta, imagination. Theta is also hypnosis.
You also, as an adult, your brain goes into theta right before sleep. So when you start to get sleepy, right before it reaches delta is when you're in sleep. When you are asleep, your brain is operating in delta waves. But right before you go to sleep, when you're starting to get sleepy, your brain is also operating in theta waves. And guess what? When you wake up, Your brain, when you wake up out of delta, the next stage is theta. So when you're waking up in the morning, your brain is operating in theta. And that is also why those are the best times to basically reprogram your subconscious, which is why when you start reading books about prosperity and wealth and affirmations and all of these things that they want you to do repetitiously, they always tell you to do these things in the morning when you first wake up and at nighttime before you go to sleep. The reason why it is the most beneficial to us is because your brain is operating in theta during those two times. Not to say that you can't do it during the day, because you need to do it as much as you can, meaning thinking wealthy thoughts, writing your affirmations, looking in the mirror and saying your affirmations, because that's the way that you reprogram your subconscious mind. The way that you reprogram your subconscious mind is only two ways, according to Dr. Bruce Lipton. Those two ways are hypnosis and repetition, right? So most people are not going to go get hypnotized. So that's where affirmations come from. Because when you're talking to yourself, you're not really talking to yourself. You're actually talking to your subconscious mind. So when you say things like, I am wealthy, I am prosperous, I am beautiful, I am great, I am courageous, I am loving, I am loved, right? These affirmations that we say over and over again. The reason why you keep saying them over and over again is not for your conscious mind, it's for your subconscious mind, because what you're doing is reprogramming the program that was programmed within you from the ages of 0 to 7. Damn. To me, that's wild. And it also, because I now know this, now you don't feel, or at least I don't feel as silly, constantly telling myself these affirmations, because really I'm not talking to my conscious mind. I'm talking to my subconscious mind, because I'm trying to reprogram those things, especially around wealth, right? So, because what will happen is when you start to get into the law of attraction, like back in the day when I first saw The Secret, I thought I was just like floored. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to start doing all this stuff, visualizing and vision boards and doing my affirmations. But if you don't have like the background, and know why, like more details about why you're doing it and how it's going to work, like it's easy to give up, right? It's easy to say, oh, this doesn't work, because what's happening is that you have this, you're trying to incorporate these wealth mindset principles, but you're dealing with a poor mindset program that you have. And so in all actuality, they end up canceling each other out. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are, So if you're vibrating on this poor mindset frequency, then that's what you are. And if you're trying to attract a wealth mindset frequency, they cancel each other out. So that's where you get into the law of vibration. It's like before you know about the law of attraction, you kind of need to know about the law of vibration, because you need to know how you're vibrating so that you can take it in full effect of the law of attraction with the law of vibration. You know what I mean? And put those two things together, and now you can work your magic, because you're not just working on your thoughts that you're thinking, but you're also working on how you feel, because you need both. You need the thoughts and you need the feelings, or else they cancel out, right? If you feel broke but you want wealth, they cancel out. You know what I mean? So now on a deeper level, now you know how the subconscious mind works and how you were programmed from the ages of 0 to 7. You can look back on your life and see, these are the messages that I heard. These are the values that were instilled in me. These are the feelings that I felt in the household, and now you have a better understanding. And now you can be the doctor of yourself and figure those things out. What's going to work best for you, because you know how to reprogram your subconscious now, and you know what's in your subconscious. Well, at least some of it, which is why therapy is great as well. So you can talk about some of these things, release some of that energy, and then start putting these new programs into your subconscious, just like a computer. It's all the programmings and the downloads and what was uploaded and all of that. So that's why I say knowing this one thing can make you a better parent, but it also can make you a better human because now you have a better and greater understanding. So I hope that this brought some type of value to you. I know it did for me, which is why I wanted to share with you. So thank you for joining me at the Science of Peace, and I'll see you again next week. If you like anything that you've heard, please subscribe. I am currently trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and I would greatly appreciate it. My name is Ms. Peace.